What is up, Watch fam? Happy Friday, and
Friday.
Welcome to Liquor Run. I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and you are...
I'm Rolly
from Theo and Harris. And on Friday we talk not about watches for just a minute, and we get into wine and value props and how to make the most out of 10 or 9 or 15 bucks. So let's do it.
The value props are popping.
Value props are popping. Before we do so, wristwatch check. What are you wearing? It's mine.
Well, I'm wearing your two-tone
Yeah.
1601 Rolex 1601.
Yeah, you have one as well.
I have the gold one,
Yeah.
which is a beautiful watch.
Love all, not too long ago, all gold and two-tone were out of style.
This is really nice. It's kind of retro in a way.
Fire. Yeah. They are on fire.
Love
I
it.
love the style of it. Yeah. I'm wearing another Theo and Harris watch. Neither of us are wearing watches that we personally own. I'm wearing a Jaeger LeCoultre, from the Theo and Harris shop. Actually, it should be in the shop right now. If it hasn't sold already, this is in the shop right now. I think that Jaeger LeCoultre represents incredible value. I mean, it's a top tier watch manufacturer.
Like the wines.
Right? Yeah, like the wines. So anyway, let's get to the episode. What are we drinking?
So this week we decided to go to northern Italy, the northwestern side of the country.
Okay.
We're going to Liguria.
Liguria.
And do a little pop quiz here. Do you know what Liguria is known for?
I don't know.
Pesto.
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 Okay,
Basil.
cool,
Basil
cool,
pesto
cool.
sauce originated there from Genoa.
Okay.
So we're going to drink today a Vermentino, which is an interesting grape. The historians say that Vermentino was brought to Italy by the Spaniards during the era of conquest by way of Corsica. But nonetheless, we consider this an Italian grape.
Okay.
It's very much an Italian grape because it's grown in Liguria and in Corsica.
And this is a fundamental grape in that part of the area. I mean, this is
Liguria is white wine country.
hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
Cool.
Okay. So this is lovely, nice and chilled. It's ready to pop.
Have you had it before?
I've never had this before,
But you knew to chill it.
But we knew to chill it.
Yeah.
It's a white wine, but also we were in Cinque Terre this summer.
Yes, we were.
And we drank a lot of this, and we probably
Fucking
sucked down a lot of Vermentino.
Loved Cinque Terre.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if you guys have ever been there or traveled to that part of the world, but if you're anywhere near there or looking to make a trip of a lifetime, Cinque Terre. We stayed in Monterosso, right?
We stayed in Monterosso.
Monterosso was where we. Yep, it was absolutely amazing. I mean, what great stories too. We had, but we heard from local fishermen. I mean, the fresh fish. I mean, the places. It was. What was the restaurant on the water? What was the restaurant that we ate at? Twice. Do you remember the name?
Belvedere.
Belvedere. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So awesome. I loved it there. It was. We called it home when we were there because we were traveling. Elsewhere. We're like, oh, go back to home.
Imagine a place that is better traveled by boat than it is by land.
Yeah. Seriously.
Imagine,
it's easier.
Yeah. Imagine a place where the houses are sitting on the cliffs, but don't look like they're going into the cliff, but rather they're clawing their way out of the sea.
Yeah.
That is Cinque Terre. It's
beautiful.
truly a stunning
Colors,
place.
Anyway, it's a love story for sure.
Yes.
Let's start drinking some wine.
Let's drink some wine. Are we ready?
I really could use a glass of wine.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
So here we go.
Let's do it.
And by the way, we're inside.
We are. I know.
We're not outside.
We finally smartened up, wised up. I don't know. We finally got a little bit intelligent and decided to stop freezing our off.
If you're from Brooklyn, we wisened up.
Shout out to all our Brooklynites out there.
So let's go. Let's open this guy. So it's got a. All right. Here we are. There it is, folks.
Beautiful.
Lunae. A little bit about the name. Lunae means the name is derived from the Latin the moon. Okay, so the port of the moon is a northern Roman harbor. So they named this wine after that. But let's enough yakking and a little bit more drinking.
Yeah, let's do it. Beautifully light.
Okay. Let's do that. So let's take a look here. I don't know if you guys didn't see it. Here's the bottle. We're going to keep it out of ice right now because I don't have my bucket with me. But okay. So what's interesting about this wine is just the aroma. I find peaches is a real nice herbal character. which is interesting because there are so many herbs that grow along those cliffs, right, in Cinque Terre. If you recall, along with the vineyards, a lot of rosemary, just a lot of wild herbs.
So in the nose alone, are you saying that this wine makes sense contextually where it's being grown?
Yeah.
Plus, since you were there so recently, it makes even more sense.
A hint of honey.
Yep.
Definitely peach, white peach.
Okay.
Okay. So, but let's give it a.
Let's give it a shot.
Let's give it a shot. Oh, beautiful. Isn't it grapefruit there?
Oh, that's so delicious.
Wow.
That's a delicious bottle of wine.
So, so for you guys, when this wine touches your mouth, you almost get the sensation this is going to be a sweet wine, and yet it turns dry right on. It makes a 180.
It almost has that kind of like effervescent ending.
But it pushes right back, and it goes in dry.
Yep.
So real interesting.
Yeah.
Why I like wines like this?
boomerang.
Yeah, it does.
Yep.
Like that.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. I really.
So
It's delicious.
But what's nice about this is, you guys, you go to the liquor store, you're pushing the cart along, and once again, you see all the big brands, and we like the big brands. We've talked about the big brands.
Plenty of them that are super respectable.
You're saying, I want to have an Italian dinner. I want to have friends over and do an Italian theme night.
Yep.
Or maybe not. Maybe you're just looking for a real good white wine, and it's not going to break the bank.
Yep.
Well, this is this
fits the bill really
This fits the bill. Why? Because it's an obscure grape, Vermentino. Not a lot of people know about Vermentino, but it's a very popular grape. In fact, that's all they drink in Liguria. Awesome. You know, that and Pigato and a couple of other, but very local. Good production. They do about 500,000 cases a year. There's this winery.
Is that a large? Is that a large number, or is that relatively?
That's pretty
small?
big. It's pretty. What they've done is they've employed a lot of the local growers to maintain the traditional method of growing the grapes.
Sure.
So imagine, guys, that similar to other stories that we've told you in the past about grapes that are being grown on these cliffs, these vines sit on these very, very steep mountains. You recall?
Yeah, absolutely.
And harvesting these grapes is very, very difficult, but there's tremendous drainage there. These grapes work hard. These vines grow hard. They work hard to produce good yield.
I remember, just thinking geographically, in the hotel we stayed at in Monterosso, there was a kind of a whole big garden at the top. You remember that?
Yes.
And the view was of everything.
Of everything.
The ocean, the city, but if you look to the side and back, you're surrounded by the green of whatever was being grown. And a lot of it was kept, but a lot of it was just random stuff. But occasionally you would see a large piece of land with the plotted vines. Obviously very meticulous.
Yes.
And you could tell that some old Italian dude got up there, or a set of people got up there in the morning, and they knew they had to keep and tend to that land. And it was just so beautiful and meticulous, and that's kind of what was being grown. So
they've been doing that.
Cool.
They've been doing that since before the Romans even arrived. The Etruscans were there doing that.
Yeah.
So they were master wall builders.
Yep.
Because they knew the only way they can cultivate that land was to build these walls.
Yeah. Well, we
saw them.
Oh my God! It's really scary.
So
scary
it goes kind of hand in hand. I always like to draw a parallel with the watches. A lot of hand, it's an artisanal way of growing vines and making grapes, growing grapes and making wine,
and not necessarily in a super fancy way.
No,
this kind of reminds
in the
me
humblest of ways.
Like give a shout out to a brand that that does something very similar. Habring. Have you ever seen Habring? I don't think you have. I don't think I ever showed you Habring. Habring's a great little. I don't want to say micro brand, independent. They make quite a few watches. They've done very well in the last couple of years. They've gotten quite a bit of attention, but I don't remember which country they're from. I don't think they're Swiss. I don't remember which country they're from, but I believe it's a husband and a wife, right? So it's a very humble, humble kind of, organization, and very humble production. But it's these two people that are absolutely, they're artisans, and they do what they do, and they do it very well. Their prices aren't astronomical; they're affordable, but the level what they're bringing to that price point is it's just a lot.
Yeah.
How much was this wine?
This wine was $14.
So at $14, and that similar kind of air, not this huge number.
Yeah.
It's artisanal at a respectable or low price point, very similar to Habring, and I love Habring. Yeah. So shout out to the
shout out to Habring. I just learned something new.
There you go. I'll show you their watches. Great stuff. But okay, so what else should we be knowing about this wine?
So what's important, obviously, the grape is we talked about Vermentino. We didn't talk. So it's Colli di Luni is the area within Cinque Terre or Liguria where this wine comes from.
Okay.
Colli di Luni is closer to La Spezia, the beginning of the Cinque Terre.
Okay.
Okay. So closer to Levanto. Yep. Okay, that's where you find where this wine is being made. The wine, like I mentioned to you before,
opposite. Levanto is the opposite way.
Levanto's
north.
Oh, no, okay.
South.
Okay.
Remember? Yeah.
Very good.
Remember.
So you're right. You're absolutely right. Yes, that's right. That's right. It's more floral and lighter in this area in Colli di Luni. In Corsica, where it's also grown and vinified, it's a fuller wine. Okay. Cool. So Corsicans are French.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they're not Italian.
They're not Italian.
No.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Actually, that old T-shirt.
So,
okay, cool. So I know we're drinking this or eating this with fish. Something light, maybe like a shrimp. You know what I mean? I feel like right, like a really beautiful kind of like a shrimp, not a red sauce, a shrimp sauce. You know what I mean? On a beautiful handmade pasta. And this, I mean, really humble kind of stuff. But I'm really feeling, throwback to summertime.
Well, I'm gonna agree with you there. A shellfish for sure. Good shrimp, lobster, crab. Would go lovely with this. In Monterosso, at Belvedere, we had this wonderful
what was it called?
Seafood pot. It was called amphora.
Amphora, yeah.
So it was like a big, almost like a where you would put a big urn.
Yeah, of everything.
Of everything.
A whole
giant,
squid.
a whole squid.
You throw a whole squid in.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. I mean.
And we were drinking that. That's what we were having. So very gulpable. Very humble.
This would have gone super well.
But not cheap. It would have gone terrific.
Loved it. That was a great meal.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So
wow.
that's what I would do. So think about that next time you're out in the market, you're looking for a wine for the weekend or any time of the week, and you want to try something a little bit offbeat. Maybe it's not Chardonnay, Pinot Grigio, Sauvignon Blanc. Try Vermentino. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's a very, very pleasing wine. And I think it's a home run.
I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm glad we picked it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for watching Liquor Run. Have a happy Friday, and that's it. All right, pick up this bottle of wine over the weekend. Put up the label again.
Salud.
Salud.